Let's talk about pyramids, not Egyptian or Mayan or even the food pyramid. I'm talking today about trail pyramids. Very undesirable, and at my local trail, an increasing presence right in the middle of the trail. And I'm wondering if other people are having this same problem, because I'm thinking it's due to some changes at my local trails. They're putting in green trails. You can see these are wider and smoother than normal. I've been riding these for over 20 years, and over the past, say, 3 years, there have been some changes, starting with, at the very back of Wildwood, these apartments. Now, I knew when these sprung up, they were going to bring walkers onto the trail. It was inevitable, but for the most part, it's been a very symbiotic relationship. The walkers have been respectful, and their dogs have at least done their business off to the side of the trail. That has changed recently, and I think there's a reason for that. Let me tell you a bit about Wildwood to lead into this. During my 20 years of riding Wildwood, it has been the same. But recently, we've got a new nonprofit that manages the trails, and they've done an amazing job. I mean, just look at these new kiosks. They explain Wildwood probably better than I could. There's a name for each of our trails. This gives you a description of each segment of the trail as well as its distance. And a nice map to go along with that. You can see color-coded each trail, where it goes and where it ends up. Very, very nice. I usually ride the left side of Wildwood, and I start out here. As a matter of fact, the footage you saw sped up introing into this is up that white trail aptly named Straight Up. It goes all the way to the back of the trail, connects with the blue power line section, and this, called the Big Pimpin'. As a matter of fact, we're right here, right beside those apartments. And as I've already mentioned, the people from those apartments have been very respectful and understanding that they're walking on a mountain bike trail. And almost always they're working their way down Straight Up in an opposite direction, trying to cross Waterloo Road to get here, which is the canoe slip, the actual family part of the park. Let me rephrase that. This is the actual park, Wildwood Park, with a pavilion, a very family-friendly area, as is evidenced by this. This path is called the Family Loop. It's about a mile long, and it is a nice paved walking path. It's actually asphalt. This is where the apartment dog walkers usually try to get. They cross Straight Up path going in an opposite direction and make it to the Family Loop. And everyone has been happy, but Wildwood, the actual mountain bike trails, there are some green trails. There are also some technical trails with lots of routes, and a section on another side of Wildwood called Ranger. And the team working on these trails has been paying close attention to Ranger. They've done a lot of work there that I'll be showcasing in a future video. But for the most part, I ride the other side of Wildwood. And it's that side that Imba visited and mapped out some changes that I thought were going to be full-on mountain bike, but I believe are the reason for the increasing trail pyramid problem. And just to give you an idea of how pronounced this problem is recently, out at Wildwood, let's follow the trail straight up all the way to the back side. We're going to end up here. I'm going to turn my bike around, and we're going to start here, headed back down the trail. And I'm gonna go slow here with the camera set up on the back of the bike, looking back just to see how many trail pyramids I encountered on one straight run back. This was filmed last week, and it didn't take long. The apartments are still visible, and there we go, the first trail pyramid. And again, I don't think it's the apartments. I think it's some other changes that we're gonna see coming up. Trails widening out, getting smoother. The new green trails, by the way, there's another trail pyramid. Full disclosure here, now if you hear that there's some random crazy guy yelling poop riding around the Wildwood mountain bike trails, that would be me. Because I had to have a way to know in my footage when I had ridden by a trail pyramid so I could put the poop emoji on the screen. And from an editing standpoint, it totally worked. It made it easy for me, but unfortunately, if anyone saw me or heard me that I don't know about, they're gonna think I'm just crazy. Trail pyramid, what, I think we're up to 3 now? And keep in mind, this straight up path, it's 0.78 miles long. So less than a mile, and I've already had 3 trail pyramids right in the middle of the trail. Which is a good point for me to bring up something that I periodically see in comments. You don't take a good trail line. Well, what you can't see on film is, well, A, trail pyramids, B, all the routes that are on Wildwood. Even though this looks hard-packed and smooth, there are quite a few routes here. And I know the location of each and every one of them trail pyramid. So when I'm taking a line that doesn't look like the best one, there's usually a reason I'm avoiding something. Because the footage that you're seeing, I've purposely filmed, so I've got to make it as smooth as possible. And I'm going to break away for a second to talk about a historical benchmark here. Halfway up the straight up trail is what I called Salvation Bench for so long here on KevCentral. You'll see it come into your frame here on the left. There are two benches that I call Salvation Bench. The second one I've rebuilt. I'll get to that one as soon as they determine what they're going to do here. And not far from it, our next trail pyramid, kind of fitting. I think people sit down on a bench and let their dog go, right in the middle of the trail. I'm going to speed this up a bit so I can get to the next section where I talk about what I believe is the cause of this. Just note that the icons might not be in their exact location because I sped the footage up. I'm going to flip the camera around now. Actually, this footage is a completely different day, but it'll give you the point. See where these trails go from kind of normal trail width and they start widening up. You're going to see they get significantly smoother as they get wider. That's because this is the new section. They've plowed up all the roots, the little mini berms, all the old stuff to make way for this, which is new, smooth, packed green trails. Now, I don't know how this is going to fit in. I suspect it's going away, but I haven't seen the trail master plan, so I don't know. What I do know is that if I look, this is all smoothed out. Again, it used to be rooty, little small mini berms and so on, but I'm seeing the markers. See that green, and there's another green, and it's this green smoothness, these new areas that they're making that I believe are the reason for the increase in trail pyramids. Now, they existed before, but they weren't very common. Now they're all over the place. And I think that's due to two things. Number one, the kiosks that have went up, letting people know that there are extra trails out here at Wildwood. And two, those extra trails, they start out like this. Very, very smooth, very wide, very friendly for walking. Now, I will say that construction is in its early phases. You can see there's a lot of stuff here and there's a lot going on, and I haven't seen the master plans. So I don't know how this is going to end up, but I'm not against this because green trails do two things. Number one, they support the local bike shop. Number two, that would mean I could take a Schwinn aluminum comp, not project comp, but a bone stock Schwinn aluminum comp, and ride a trail like this all day. That's a good thing. That's more people that can ride a trail on whatever type bike they have. I'm all for it. Plus, who knows, more bikes on the trail, maybe there will be less dogs doing their business in the middle of that trail. For now though, this is a problem here, and let me know if it's a problem at the trails you ride, if there are any green trails, because as you saw, that was 7 trail pyramids in a 0.78 mile stretch. Well, at least it was a godly number, 7. 7, holy crap. Maybe there's a hidden message here. I don't know. I got a little validation putting this video together. A friend messaged me. He was out at the trail. He said other people were complaining about poop in the middle of the trails, so at least I'm not alone. Have you had any new trails come into your area that are more friendly to walkers like this and create a similar problem? Comment below, because maybe it's just a Florence thing. This is the city that brought us a new $25,000 big F logo. No joke, they bought this and it's our current new city logo. Now that I think about it, this kind of goes right along with the trail pyramids. Here, the complete message. Figured I would add this in. This is the family loop that I showed earlier, these asphalt trails that run along the water line, and I think what's happening is we're siphoning people off of these onto those new green trails, or in construction green trails. And I think part of that is due to the kiosks. Because like this, I'm now seeing people at those kiosks walking sticks in hand ready to tackle the new trails they see on signs. And I can't blame them because from the road this does look like an appealing walking surface that they just saw on a sign. But as mentioned, this is under construction, so we'll see what the trails turn into. But for right now, there is a big pyramid problem. Comment below, let me know if you experienced this on any green trails. Also, make sure you give this a thumbs up, subscribe, all that. Thanks for watching KevCentral. Have a great day.